watching! It's nice meeting you guys, even though we don't see you.
Anyway, if you're watching this video, we thank you from the bottom of our heart.
God bless you all and hope you stay longer.
Enjoy watching!
And now, let's get to the topic of this vlog, which is the role of grammar in the classroom and in the school curriculum.
Alright, do you know guys that we will have a guest for today's vlog?
Yes, and he is one of the instructors here in Monkayo.
And he's also one of the pioneering batch in this institution who took Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English.
Wow, are you all excited?
Is Mr. Felicito Lariva, LPT by EOT. Good morning, sir.
Sir. Sir, we are the students from BSED English 2A and we are here, sir, to ask you some questions about teaching grammar. Do you have any difficulties of teaching grammar?
Yes, of course, especially in the Philippine educational system that we are using trilingual teaching. Okay, first is our mother tongue, second is our national language, which is Filipino, and the third is the global language we use, or the international language, which is English. Having that in the educational system really affects the improvement or the progress of students when it comes to grammar. Okay, the pronunciation, the writing, as well as their grammar, perhaps both in speaking, listening, and writing. So it is very impossible for a child, especially the Filipino grammar is quite different from English grammar.
What particular problem do the learners encounter in terms of learning grammar?
As I've said, no, they have problems when it comes to speaking and writing, especially in essay and doing recitation. So most of them do the code switching technique, or they shift one language to another language because they can find the words to fill on the sentence to make their idea go through. That's the big problem. Next is the SB pattern, or what we call the English grammar rules when it comes to writing. So most of them find it hard to put their ideas into words, into writing, I mean. So that makes me very somehow problematic when checking their pieces of writings. I need to find what is the idea and how they put the idea. So they have idea, but the problem is how to put it on letter into words clearly to be understood by me or by any teachers they will have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. My turn to ask you, sir. So, how do you integrate grammar in the classroom?
I used to have chances to make my students learn the basic of grammars, the SB patterns, because that is I guess, the most important thing to know or to have when it comes to having English as your third language. And it's very empirical to say that they should know the basic, like they should understand that the singular noun, jibe or congruent or equal, or should be linked with the equal counterpart of the verb, which is also singular. So for them to know that, okay, I also, from time to time, I ask them to have new vocabulary words that they should add it into their repertoire, reserve of vocabulary words that would help them more versatile or more expert when it comes to writing.
Short question, what specific topic of grammar should be taught to improve the learners?
So for me, not is it really not really to say that the more important part, but the biggest thing, of course, the very first thing to know in order to improve your grammar, that is the subject-verb agreement. You should be given a high 10 attention in order for the student to know how to speak clearly, precisely in English. Okay? These will help you know how to agree your subject with your verb, and of course our using of prepositional phrases, the adverbs, as well as how to have consistent tenses, because some of my students really have this present tense on the very first, but they shift into past tense and future tense we have the same idea. So in order to have, especially when doing narrative essay, reflection essay, they have this problem with having SBA pattern and of course consistent tenses and the use of the prepositional phrases.
Grammar that help your learners understand it easier.
One of the strategies I employ in the classroom is what we call the communicative approach, because it is through communication that we really practice the language. It's not really in writing, but through speaking. So let's just have, when I teach my grammar, I have this situational conversation. I assign them to have situational conversation and create a small dialogue between one another. Let's say two students in a bus stop, okay, having conversation about their assignment. So they will create a conversation along that. Okay, let's have another. Two students want to buy certain materials for their project in the market. They will create the conversation with that. So by doing that, they will improve their communication skills little by little. We cannot really expect them to speak efficiently, effectively, or fluently in 100%, but little by little, they could get a chance to improve their grammar.
Thank you, sir.
What kind of grammar exercise that you will utilize that will help students extend their vocabulary in constructing well-formed sentences?
Okay, it is encouraged for every teacher to use the student-centered kind of activities. So activities that would really engage the students into participation in learning progress. Let's say activities like sentence option, that I as a teacher would present some of the sentence L form, or shall we say grammarly L form sentences, and there are sentences that is correct in structure. So I let them have or bid for buying the wrong or the right one. It depends upon how they would analyze then after the presentation. Really by English people, American, and well, language is arbitrary, so anyone could flourish the language whenever or wherever they want. So here, learning English as part of our curriculum is very convenient, especially for the student to have that. Many of Koreans, Japanese going to the Philippines just to learn English. So it's very convenient for us to learn English, especially that the global trends is really going inside the country. We are exporting human resource, we export people outside the country, and English is spoken there. So when you learn English, it's very convenient for you to land jump there, converse with people, you are understood, and you will easily understand them.
Or an additional question. What are some good sources of information about English grammar for learners?
So when we talk about sources for really learning grammar, most of us should go beyond the conventional sources of learning grammar, which is the books that really on the library. Most of the teachers have problem with sticking to one book and thought that it would be sufficient enough for them to teach grammar. But as of today, that we are really in the 21st century and our students have used these smart gadgets, smartphones, cell phones, so we should utilize them as a new venue or platform to learn grammar. There are lots of online resources like Edmodo or another part of that that could give some drills. Some of the online sources really gives module and answer sheets that is really or printable that you could use. So that makes your teaching more efficient, time efficient, and less costly than going really to scrutinize lots of books. Everything is just like a punch of your finger and everything is given. So that's it. And of course, your experienced colleagues could give you some new avenues. Going to seminars as well would help you become more knowledgeable when it comes to teaching grammar efficiently inside.
Do you have any suggestions about teaching grammar within the classroom?
When you say it's suggestion, it's not really taken as the best way of teaching grammar. But for me, when we teach grammar, it should not be bookish, right? As if we are dissecting the language part by part, because we cannot really find the significance if we think in it by part. Or the avenue of learning English is word by word, or dissecting the language. It should be focused on where it is used. So the best venue for learning the grammar is through conversation, communication. So the best way to learn it is let your student practice it, making a short conversation every now and then, or impose exclusive language speaking class. It's not really a very dictating way of teaching grammar, but it is an avenue for them to learn language through conversation.
About in the school curriculum, sir, would you like to share to our viewers what is the role of grammar in the school curriculum?
Okay. Especially in college, that most of the subject is taught in English. It's not really should be looked as a burden, but it should be taken as an advantage for the student. That as early as first year, they are immersed to speak in English, because it is very convenient for them when they go out the school having practice of their profession. They could easily land a job. They could go through with the interview. They look or they could speak eloquently, and they have best avenue for sailing themselves to land a job. That's it. So it's being a English part of the curriculum is not a burden, but advantageous, especially to you that is soon to be an English teacher. It is very good for you. It is very convenient for you to learn it as part of the curriculum.
It's nice meeting you guys, even though we don't see you.
Anyway, if you're watching this video, we thank you from the bottom of our heart.
God bless you and hope you learned something.
Thank you for watching.